Hello, everyone. Hope you all can hear me. There we go. Perfect. How y'all doing? Hey, Laura. Hey, Erin. Oh, you guys are having trouble with Hulu? Oh, man. Well, I feel like GH went today as what you'd probably expect anyway. Minus some interesting turn of events with Anna and Valentine, but everything else was a bit predictable. I hope you guys are doing well and that your weeks are doing all right so far. Fill us in. I mean, obviously we do the whole recap on Sundays, but long story short, Anna and Valentine are in Paris, and an old flame of Valentine's is the person that can get them through the catacombs that lead to the compound where Lucy is being held hostage. Hey, Sandy. And long story short, she's gonna double cross them. So, at least that's what appears to be going on. Hulu isn't working for you. Yeah, I guess must be a nationwide Hulu problem going on. But hopefully you'll be able to watch the episode tomorrow and catch up. But yeah, needless to say, we got some confrontations between Carly and Michael and Carly and Willow. Nina is very enthusiastic about, the bone marrow transplant and that she'll be a match. She's almost too optimistic, and it makes me wonder if she's gonna not be a match or something, because it's just like she's too happy about it. Too happy. Again, I know nothing. We don't find out anything this episode. But Nina's just too optimistic, and same with Sunny, and I'm sus about the whole thing. Of course she is. Is she working for Victor or with Victor? Well, Victor is not in Paris, but we've seen, is it Johan? We've seen her and Johan interact. Victor's henchman. Jake, you said the woman who Willow told to drop dead could be the one who saves her life. She's lucky her coconut oil slick Mel didn't get her in trouble. Nina's just content to have a child at this point that's alive. Like, she don't even care that the child hate her. She's like, you know what? I got a daughter, and she's alive, and she's in the same town as me. That's enough. Nina and Sunny was so annoying yesterday. I fast forward the scenes. Be prepared to be more annoyed today when you watch today's episode. Whenever you watch it. Oh, man. They were sickening and not in a good way. We got TJ today, though. Yeah, I guess everyone who watches GH on Hulu, it didn't work today for some reason. And I feel weird because like that's most of y'all, it seems. I watch GH on TV. I record it, so I watch it when I get home from work. So I'm like teetering. I don't want to give all away from today's episode. So these live streams on Wednesdays are really just for chatting, and eventually reacting again, which is I have a game plan, but not for this month. I think we're gonna chill this month and then get back into reacting to things in February. But I thought that we could run through ideas of what to react to, because it is February, and while sweeps isn't really a thing anymore, I feel like we should watch a sweep storyline of yesteryear for the month of February, just in homage to the days of yesteryear when sweep stunts were like one big crazy storyline that ends within the month. Anything reactions? I don't know. I don't have a game plan to react to anything in particular. Just because I think, like I said, I think we're gonna react to a sweep stunt storyline in February every Wednesday, and I'll leave it in your guys' hands with that, because I think when we all think of sweep storylines, we think of the Port Charles hotel fire, we think of the Metro Court hostage crisis, we think of the train wreck, the black and white ball, toxic balls. Did I miss any? Did I miss any of the iconic ones? Oh, the virus outbreak. Those ones. So whichever, I think those collectively are the ones that people kind of fall back to. And I don't know if you guys want to just watch one particular episode from each sweep storyline, or if we want to stick to one and then just kind of watch. Obviously we can't watch them all because there's 20 episodes a month. But highlights of the story, Aaron, you said, I have a question. Didn't Sam not like Alexis when they found out they were mother and daughter? Oh yeah, Sam and Alexis, well, I feel like more so Sam despised Alexis even before she knew she was her mother. So very much in the same way Willow and Nina did not like each other now. But a lot of it kind of had to do with hey Jacarius, a lot of it had to do with really Sam's baby dying, and Alexis begging Sam for her stem cells to help Christina live. And also, I've been good, Jacarius, thanks. We should react and compare. Oh man, we gotta react to them all. Can't feel sorry for Nina. No one does. I mean, there's no reason to feel sorry for her. She knows why Willow hates her, and I don't even think she's mad about it. I think she's more mad at Carly. Oh wow, the Sam and Alexis not liking each other is intriguing. I'm going to have to look them up. We could, you know what? If you guys want to react to something, we could watch one of those scenes, like an Alexis versus Sam scene today. Because I don't. Like I said, I don't have a game plan. I don't want to spoil you guys too much because a lot of you couldn't watch today. Anyway, so yeah, I can find something, because I feel like Alexis and Sam's feud in comparison to Nina and Willow's feud didn't happen as frequently and as often, because they weren't really in each other's circles. They were kind of, Alexis would be in there every now and then because of Jason and his criminal lifestyle. But there were moments where, where Alexis and Sam would cross paths, and Alexis would always be, it's hard. It's such a complicated relationship, their beginnings, because there were just things that happened to Sam and that were unfortunate, and then Alexis would have some kind of crisis, and people in her life, Alexis's life, would be dependent on Sam doing favors for Alexis. And they had some, major blowouts in terms of arguing. So honestly, some of Kelly Monaco's best work too throughout the show. Yesterday, Nina blamed Carly for her bad behavior towards Willow. Yeah, she did. Yeah, Nina's not going to hold herself accountable, let's be realistic. Okay, I don't know which one. Like, for those of you that are familiar with Sam and Alexis's, sort of back and forth in the beginning before Sam found out that Alexis was her mom and vice versa. Oh, sorry, I'm missing some of your guys' chats. Hold on. Okay. Let's see. Oh, okay. Angel, you watched some clips of the hotel fire and Nicholas returning home to Windermere and Emily was there. I remember that. If anyone's having a bad day, just be lucky you're not Carly. Yeah, Carly kind of got put through the ringer from everyone today. Although I feel like Willow was probably the nicest to her. She still let her have it. And same with Michael. Michael just ain't having any interaction with Carly. He doesn't want to be around her. And essentially Sunny is next. And that'll be next episode. I saw one clip, Helena and Emily. Emily said she gave Windermere to Nicholas as a gift. Is that true? Emily bought Windermere for Nicholas. I don't know. Is that true? Because, the Cassadines were in Windermere long before Emily was in the picture, right? Or at least around the same time. When did the Qs own Windermere? I know Faison did. Saw some old episodes on SoapNet. You think Esme is the new Carly? I don't know about that. Carly wasn't as crazy as Esme. How exactly did they explain Sam being Alexis' daughter? Prior to that, it seemed like the show was pretty insistent that Christina was her firstborn. Well, I mean, the start of it, from what I remember, was that not long after Christina was born, maybe a couple years after, Sam, I think, shared with Rick that she actually gave up a girl or a baby for adoption, because of the Cassadines, and she didn't know what happened to the baby. And I think it took a while before people started putting together that Sam was the daughter, because we had seen Sam and her brother Danny, and I think just before Danny died. Hey ATM, you didn't miss anything. We're just chit-chatting. When Danny died, he mentioned that his parents or their parents chose Sam. That Sam was specially chosen. So that was when the bug kind of got in that Sam was adopted. And I forget who found out first, though. I think Alexis found out that she was her mom before Sam did. But, oh man, I don't know. It's so long ago, you guys. Yeah, Alexis did judge Sam for the way she chose to live her life. Yeah, even once they found out they were mother and daughter, it was not pretty for a while. Obviously, we've seen things like the Summer of Sleaze happen, where, Sam slept with Rick, and Alexis was kind of the reason why J-Sam broke up at one point, and because, he basically, I think Alexis basically guilted Jason into breaking up with her at one point. And that broke her heart, and then I think that's how she ended up in bed with Rick in the first place. And then same with Jason and Liz. Helena was trying to kick Emily out of Windermere, and Emily said she bought Windermere for Nicholas. Okay. Interesting. But who did she buy it from? Like, that's what I'm wanting to know. Okay. Sorry, I'm trying to, watch the chat and everything, but I'm also trying to look for some Alexis and Sam clips. Or at least one. At least one. I don't know what would be a really good clip. Like, I think a really good one would be from the virus outbreak storyline, but I mean, if we're gonna watch that in February. Oh, I think I found a good one. Hold on, let me see if I can find a. Let's see. Oh, Sam found out Alexis was her mother first. Okay. Alexis didn't find out until Sam was shot and Jason told her. That's right. I forgot. Alexis was trying to control Sam's life once Alexis found out that Sam was her daughter. That's true. Alexis saw Jason as unfit for Sam. Alexis tried to make Sam a respectable woman. Sam's been through it, y'all. Like, I think about, like, her, even like her backstory of like how she would like con men, and she got into some abusive situations that came to light during the Everyday Heroes storyline for Sam. Yeah, I do remember Sam being a clerk at the PCPD. Okay. Alright. So I think I want to show a clip of Sam and Alexis at odds before the reveal, like way before. Just to show you how vile their relationship was before. And then maybe we'll watch a sort of post-reveal clip. Okay. Let me turn this down. Let me go to this clip, because I think... Oh, sorry, guys. That was loud. Ooh, let's see. Okay. Sonny's reaction to finding out Sam and Alexis being mother and daughter was hilarious. Yeah, didn't he say something like, I slept with a mom and her daughter, that's some freaky deaky Jerry Springer type of mess, or something like that. It was so funny. Oh man, alright. Okay, let me shrink me down to size. And start her up. Well,
Let there be
that
another
didn't
way,
work.
Christina.
There we go.
I talked to Sonny, and he said that you refused. I'd like you to reconsider.
I'm sorry. I can't.
I'm begging you, mother to mother, help my baby.
I would. Alexis, I really would. But if something went wrong with my baby, I would just never be
It's
able
gonna
to.
go wrong. Nothing is gonna go wrong. You're a wonderful husband. They're gonna take really good care of you. Nothing is gonna go wrong.
The doctors said that there was at least a 10% chance that my baby would not
I
survive.
know you're frightened. I know you're frightened. Any mother would be. But I'm asking you to think about if you would induce and your baby would be.
No, listen, I never
Sam,
said I would
want you
do
to
that.
Think about it. If your baby were born, you'd save a life. I mean, think about how that would make you feel. Think about that. How your courage and your decisiveness, you'd save a life.
I have my own little girl to think about. I am very sorry, but I cannot
Sam,
put her life in jeopardy.
Sam, your baby's 38 weeks. Your baby's fine. They induce full-term pregnancies all the time without any complications. You've got over a 90%
There
chance
is a
that-
10% chance that my baby will die. Alexis, I am her mother. I cannot take that risk.
I want you to come with me.
No, I don't understand. Please
I
don't.
want you to see her. I want you to see
Alexis,
Christina.
I understand
I want you to
how
see
sick-
her lying in her bed. I want you to see how pale she is. I want you to see that her chest is barely moving. I want you to see that she's dying and that you can save her, but you won't.
Don't say that.
Please
Please
don't make
don't
you see
talk.
what you're doing because you're letting her die. You're gonna let her heart stop beating. You're gonna let her slip away. And you're gonna stand there and you're gonna do nothing. Where's your compassion? For God's sake, where's your humanity? How are you gonna be able to live with yourself knowing that you could have saved her life and you didn't? I want you to look at her because I can't make you induce labor, but I can, by God, make you see the price of your selfishness because it's easy to ignore death when it's not staring you in the face, when it's down the hall in some corridor, when it's somebody else's child. I want you to look at my daughter. Okay, I want you to see what you've done. You've done in your head.
I will induce my labor for you, okay? Ow! Help me, Jesus! My baby! My baby!
Not that different from Nina and Willow, actually. My goodness. Oh, Lord. Yeah, so their relationship was pretty vile even before she found out that Alexis was her mom. But they did a really good job at kind of like, you know, building their sort of hatred for each other before any inkling that they were mother and daughter. Where I feel is with Nina and Willow, we all called it like the second they met. Because we knew that Nina had kids out there somewhere. And we're like, oh, well, Willow doesn't seem fond of her. They must be mother and daughter. Whereas, you know, Sam was an established character already. She had only been around a couple years, but like it had been a couple years. Like it's not like they brought Sam on like with the sole plan of making her Alexis's daughter one day, I don't think. Which I think helped the story. Let's see. Let's see. Okay, sorry, Jake. I'm reading the title and typing it out. but I still like Alexis over Nina any day. Well, true, yeah. I'm just saying, like, because Alexis was also, like, Alexis is not, like, a polarizing character. Certainly not back then, because, you know, she was, everyone liked Alexis. I feel like everyone liked Alexis. And she, you know, she was like the outcasted Cassadine who got away from the family and had her own life and had couples that people loved, like, you know, her and Rick. Angel, you said, I was so sad for Sam when my mom told me when I got home from school that she lost the baby. Oh. Okay. We're going to watch the clip that Jake suggested. Okay. Give me a second. I almost got it up. There we go.
What's all this?
It's garbage. Courtesy of your boyfriend. Excuse me, your fiance. What is Jason Distracts?
Rick, please don't talk about Jason.
Oh, that's fine with me. Hey, I won't if you won't. Deal?
I need a drink.
Be my guest. So what's got you diving into a bottle?
My mother is a controlling bitch. Oh, did you hear that? Or do I need to say it again, maybe a little bit louder this time?
At least Alexis is likable, Nina isn't. Yeah, that's a major difference
angry,
too.
But you need to show some respect, Sam.
Respect? I am supposed to respect a liar who's trying to control my life? You kept hammering away at Jason, working his guilt until he finally shut me out. I am miserable. He is miserable. But you don't give a damn as long as you get your own way.
It was Jason's choice.
Oh, his choice. I no. Hold on. Right. Jason chose to leave me, but that still wasn't enough for you. I am not allowed to talk to him. You will not let me talk to him. That is sick. You are sick. But you are not in control of my life. You don't tell me where I can go, what I can do, or who I can sleep with. Stay the hell out of it.
Fine. You want to be with Jason? Go ahead.
No. That's right, because it's not your fault. Nothing is ever your fault. Not you. This was Jason's choice. His choice.
I'm done, Sam. I'm done fighting for you. I am done trying to save you. And the interesting thing is
when
that
Sam
you
had personality.
never asked me to, and it's evident that you don't want me to, so you
I
win.
miss fiery Sam so much. Yes, Sandy.
You want to spend the rest of your life
We're thinking
with
the
Jason,
same thing.
being his plaything, being his appendage, taking orders from him and getting shot at. That is entirely up to you. I'm not going to do anything to stop you because it is clear to me that you have absolutely no self-respect. You have no identity of your own, so being with Jason is really your only option, isn't it? If I were you, I wouldn't go to school. I wouldn't go to college. I wouldn't go to law school. Why don't you just let Jason take care of you for the rest of your life? Because that way you don't have to think. Wouldn't that be great? Get out! Get out of my house! I don't want you poisoning your sister's minds with your pathetic, degraded attitude.
Wait a minute. What the hell's wrong with you?
I do remember these scenes too.
I don't care how mad you get. You don't call your child pathetic and degraded.
No. Rick, at least she's being honest. The loving mother act is finally over. Alexis finally admits that she thinks I'm trash.
I didn't say that.
You didn't have to. It showed on your face from day one.
We need to just take a step back.
A step back? For what? Exactly. So you can pretend that you are happy that I'm your daughter? Fess up, Mother. You think that I am trash. You are humiliated that I'm your daughter. You were were hoping to find a child that was accomplished and educated, maybe, just maybe with a white-collar job. You would have liked that, wouldn't you? But no, instead you found me. And you tried to cover. You gave me a makeover. You got rid of Jason. You even gave me a new job. You tried to make me into a respectable woman. Somebody worthy of you. But it didn't work. No. It didn't work. So now you have to finally admit the truth. You think I'm hurt. You are sorry. You are sorry that I am your daughter.
I wanted desperately to have a relationship with you, Sam. But you didn't want to have a relationship.
No, you wanted desperately to mold me into what you wanted.
To hate me. What am I supposed to do? I don't want you spreading your malice to your sisters because Christina and Molly need their mother right now, and I don't want you undermining me with them. I don't care where you go. You want to go with Jason? Go with Jason. You go wherever you want, but you get the hell out of my house.
Sam isn't going anywhere. Yeah.
I can't believe that you're not
This isn't about Sam. This is about you lashing out because you're hiding the fact that you're hiding the truth.
What?
It's a smokescreen. She's just a smokescreen. This is all about you. You're having a problem.
I thought I could.
Rick was spot on though.
At least to support me. Okay. Oh, forget it.
It's kind of weird, the comparisons now that I'm thinking about it, because Alexis was secretly dealing with cancer.
Say hi to the mayor for me.
Say hi to the mayor, yeah.
What does the mayor have to do with this?
Nothing. Doesn't matter.
So Rick thought that she was having an affair with the mayor, which we find out eventually that it was actually
No,
true.
nothing really matters anymore.
But
Yeah, you got that, man.
but really, she was just confiding in the mayor that she had cancer. And then they kind of rewrote it that she did actually sleep with the mayor in 2009. They kind of brought that up. And that's kind of where the mayor's wife came in with a bit of a vendetta against Alexis. And the mayor's wife was crazy. Mayor's wife was truly a crazy broad. There we go. Back to it. But yeah. No, yeah, it's kind of like we're getting the reverse of Alexis and Sam with Nina and Willow, where it was Alexis fighting for her life with cancer. Oh, I just realized. Oh, hold on. Something is up with my screen. Let me fix that. There we go. Oh, like Nina thought Willow had. See the comparisons, y'all. Sam ate that. Yeah, like Nina's so clearly mentally damaged. Yeah, the thing is, at least Alexis, you know, she had a reason. At least at this moment, she had a reason why she was lashing out. You know, she's dealing with cancer. She wants just, you know, peace in her house with her daughters, and you know, she realized that Sam. She probably thought, you know, I'm dying. Sam's a lost cause. It's better to let her be happy in her life and let me live my life with the daughters that love me, and you know, be done with it. Please, no more baby swap stories. I'm scared that we're gonna get one too. Oh, I won't spoil too much, but we got Heather and Esme scenes today. That was fun. But yeah, I can see the sort of comparisons with these storylines now. But again, Alexis was a likable character, and she was dealing with cancer herself and hiding it from everyone. But and you know, I think, well, inevitably once Sam found out that Alexis had cancer, the relationship did kind of mend to that. What do we want to see for GH's 60th anniversary? I want to see characters coming back. I want to see, well, first and foremost, I think that Epiphany's death should segue the 60th anniversary day for sure. And I think that is the game plan. They said at the end of March they're going to have like an episode dedicated to Epiphany, which means they're probably going to let us know that she's died or celebrate her in some kind of way, leading up to the nurses' ball, which will be on the actual anniversary. Well, not the actual anniversary day because it falls on a Saturday, but probably the Monday we'll get the nurses' ball. Well, that sounds scary. Imagine finding out your mother is Heather Weber and your dad is Ryan. Well, she don't know that much yet. They just met each other, okay? Heather's kind of playing coy. Because this is her first time meeting her daughter. John Stamos' character, man, they've been trying to get Blackie back for years. Blackie, to perform with Blackie in the Riff Raff. If they managed to do it this year, then kudos to GH. I do like that GH's social media is kind of throwing back to like the original characters on Instagram, like showing like who the nurses and doctors were in the 60s, and, you know, letting people that watch now know who they were, their ties to today and whatnot. So I missed a lot of the soap because I've been at work and I need to go back and watch a lot. But Tiffany died. Oh, do you mean Epiphany, not Tiffany? Yeah, because Tiffany's still alive. But the actress that plays Epiphany passed away, so they're going to have to write that into the show. Well, no one was watching Blackie, Blackie and the Riff Raff in 1963 because he wasn't alive then. But if you mean like the GH characters on the social media, then yeah, there definitely are people that have been watching since day one that are still alive and watching the soap. Y'all are talking so fast, I'm missing half the things you're saying. The actresses who play Nina and Trina is getting so much hate? Why Trina? I thought she was like getting a lot of love right now. Tell us your thoughts about the 2013 Nurses Ball. I was excited that they brought it back. Obviously, it's you can't compare it to the original. The soap just doesn't have the budget to create the magic that the original Nurses Balls were. But I think that they did a damn good job, all things considered. The only thing that was cringe was the red carpet thing. But I mean, they had, Rick Springfield singing Jesse's Girl, like they had, Frisco singing on the 2013 Nurses Ball. They did a lot of good things because it was the Nurses Ball that when it came back in 2013, that was essentially the anniversary week for the 50th. So, I had a blast watching it, truly. And it was nice to see Lucy being a host again and doing her Lucy-esque thing and ending up in her underwear. They had Richard Simmons in there too. Like, I think that, like I said, I think that Ron Carlivati honestly did a good job with the 50th anniversary year, because he could ride the coattails of like all these characters coming back and people wanting to be nostalgic for the 50th anniversary. And I think he did that really well. We'll see if the current writers can pull off that sort of level of nostalgia for the 60th. It's going to be a bit more harder because, you know, luckily for Ron Carlivati, Guza and Jill, they like ushered, you know, all the beloved cast out a long time ago. And so that gave GH the opportunity to bring them all back. But GH now has a lot of them on canvas with stories, and it has nothing to do with anniversaries. They're just on the show. You got Anna and Robert, Felicia, Mac. Holly comes back when she can as well. You know, like there's a lot of old, I don't want to say OG, but old school characters from the glory days on the show currently. And so if you have that, like you can only bring so many other people back at this point. And sadly, we have lost a few since then. So, and you know, not just from getting them off the show, but literally just people passing away. Oh, Jakarius, that's unfortunate about Trina. People are ridiculous. Effing racist bastards. So does that mean her and Elizabeth are somewhat related because of Franco? Ooh, I didn't even think about that. Oh my goodness, ETM. Why did you open up that can of worms? Esme and Elizabeth, oh. Like, Esme is literally Franco's sister. Oh my gosh. All over Twitter. See, this is why I'm not on Twitter. I am blissfully happy without being on Twitter. Y'all's drama. Michael is married to Elizabeth's father? Wait, what? I'm confused, Kaiwan. Michael is definitely not married to Elizabeth's father. Brenda and Carly's little fight at the table was ridiculous. It was funny. I love that Brenda just like threw the bread and just didn't even look at her, just like, and it just like hit Carly in the head. It was so childish, but it was entertaining. Yeah, the nurse's ball will be different without Epiphany. Yeah, I love Trina too, Aaron. Isaiah, you said I have my grips about the current GH, but at least it does use the vets. Gotta give credit for that. That's how I feel too, is because, like, are they getting the best stories? No, but when I think about the stories that they had, or lack thereof, in the Guza era, damn am I happy for them today. Like, they're at least trying with the vets. It's going... The reality is, too, like, we can never... short of a miracle, get the kind of stories that these characters had in their prime. Not only are they a lot older, but the budget is just not going to allow for that. I think, given the budget, I think that they do a pretty decent job with the vets. There are some storylines that are head scratchers for sure, but I think, and a lot of that kind of happened in the Ron Carlivati era, but it's simmered a bit, and now I feel like they're all getting respectable storylines. I think of Laura and how... you know, she was treated as kind of like the damsel in distress under Guza whenever they brought her back. And I think of, you know, Laura, even the poor treatment that Jeannie Francis got from the show, being let go multiple times since then under the Ron and Frank era. But now I think, given the blow up that happened when Jeannie was let go the last time, I think that they now know like the power of, you know, Laura Collins, Laura Spencer, and they've as such given her not only the strength and courage Jeannie always wanted for Laura, but storylines that make her sort of the matriarch of, you know, of the town. She's the mayor of Port Charles, and, you know, she's in there being like her classic self in certain situations, rescuing people, you know, one-upping people. It's nice to see that. And, you know, I know some of you didn't like it, but I really liked Holly's story on her last run, because there was a lot of damage done to Holly for like a lot of years, like, because they've brought her back constantly, and each time it was like nobody, and even Emma Samms has said this herself, no one really wrote Holly the way that she used to be written. And I think this time around was the closest we've seen to the Holly of yesteryear in the glory days than we've ever been in a long time. So I'm glad that they kind of tried to undo a lot of the damage that the writers have done to her over the years. You know, first of all, having her come back as like a, you know, this con artist and jewel thief, and you know, and then making her sleep with Luke and having a son and wanting to desperately be with Luke and not really caring too much about Robert. And now, you know, they have her being noble and not having her run a con against Robert without being forced to have done so. And then, you know, Robert and Holly, in true Robert and Holly form, got one up on Victor, on the bad guy. And it was nice to see the veterans finally win against the bad guys, because there was a trend for a long time, especially under Ron Carlivati, where the veterans were always made to look like bloody idiots, and it was irritating. And now it's happening less so, and I think they're starting to write the veterans true to form a lot better these days. Okay, I need to catch up with what y'all have been saying. Nurse's Ball will be different without Epiphany. It's gonna be so sad, y'all. I love Trina. I love her fight, her compassion. I want Spencer to not act like a spoiled brat. Michael's grandmother was married to Elizabeth's father. Oh yeah, Jeff and Bobby. Man, I still try to get over Bobby and Jerry Jacks being a thing at one point. Laura, your mom asked why she couldn't watch the episode on Hulu. It's midnight. Oh my goodness. He's trying to be better now because of Trina. Yeah, that's true. DG, you couldn't watch yesterday's show because of Hulu. So yeah, it's an overall error for everybody. I'm really hoping that the lady that please, that's my... Oh, do you mean Willow? If she's, I don't think she's gonna lose the baby, but I think that they're gonna do a baby swap. What happened to Mason in that story in Pawtuck? Well, in the preview for this week on GH, we do see Austin and Mason. So apparently we're getting some of that this week. Not that it's that interesting. I honestly feel like they're gonna usher Austin out. He's a fail of a character. Nobody cares. He's not, you know, the only like good friendship he had was Britt. That's gone. Like, and no one liked him with Maxie. Like, there's just nothing left for him on the canvas. They need to just, Frank Valentini and Roger Howard clearly have a good relationship because of, you know, when they made him Franco, no matter how many people were screaming that they wanted him gone, they didn't care. He didn't care. And now, you know, they finally kill him off, and then they bring on this new character for him, and people care even less so about Austin. It's like, and it's not even like he's playing a character that's hated. It's just that he's a character with nothing to do, and that he's not even remotely interesting. No one cares about the Pawtuck story and what Austin is doing. So I'm hoping that Frank will just kind of finally see that, like, maybe you should just cut your losses and let the character go off, because I'm sure another soap can snatch Roger Howarth, should they want to. This past November sweeps was good for the vets. Oh yes, I agree. And I think Frank will keep it up because of the anniversary. That I also agree with. But for the most part, the vets usually gather cobwebs. You're right, but I think you were watching in the Guza era too, right? I think that when you compare the Guza era and the storylines the veterans got back then to the storylines that they get now, even in the recent years where the storylines weren't as good, they were still better than what they got in, mid 2000s. Like, if y'all weren't watching, I know that most of you were, but like, if I were to just look at all the like a newer viewer, I'd be like, so back in the day, Anna was a rock star groupie who would throw her underwear on the stage, and she hated being called grandma because she was having a midlife crisis, and she was used for comic relief. I don't think anyone would believe me. I know y'all were there for that, but no, would y'all, seeing Anna as she is now, would you have guessed that was the storylines Anna was getting, like, 15 years ago? And Robert being a deadbeat dad. Like, the mess that was the veterans back then. Yikes. Did you hear that someone threatened to punch Cynthia Watros because they wanted Nina to leave Carly alone? Soap fans can be nuts. I bet that happened on Twitter. That is why I am not on Twitter, y'all. I don't give a rat's ass about soap Twitter. Y'all, they are crazy AF. Alright? Oh, excited to see Spencer go to court against his father. Are we even gonna see it? Nicholas is out soon, or at least Marcus is out as Nicholas soon. This past November Sweeps was great for Emma Samms. I agree, wholeheartedly. Holly started out as a con artist, and they honored that this time around. It was a lot of fun. I loved the woman on fire scenes. Well, they honored it in a way that made her look good. She was conning because her son's life was in danger, and then she out-conned the person that was making her con her, which is very true to form for Holly. Monica was married to Elizabeth's father. Don't bring up... I'm concerned he wouldn't know. A good storyline. Don't bring up who... do you mean Ron Carlivati? Guza really had no respect for the vets or the show's history. Agreed. What he did to Rick Weber, Stefan Cassadine, and so many others was deplorable. Yeah, I agree. All the vets were written horribly under Guza. Holly was extremely terribly written during the encephalitis. Yeah, that was the worst for Holly. And, okay, as someone who back then, I didn't know much about Holly at all. In fact, I didn't know anything about her. I think, like, my mom mentioned that, that she knew Holly, and my grandmother mentioned that she knew Holly. My grandmother was really excited for Robert. She didn't have much of a reaction to Holly. I just remember my grandmother's reaction to seeing Robert come out of the fire, and I got chills because, like, that was, like, the most, like, reaction I've ever seen out of my grandmother from the soap. Like, it was crazy. And I was like, who is this man? Why has he, like, got my grandmother this excited? Like, this must be crazy. I'm hoping Victor doesn't get killed off this summer. I love Charles Shaughnessy as Victor. I still would prefer Tao, though. Yeah, like I do. I think that Charles is doing a good job as Victor, but I think, you know, I would have rather seen the OG because it is the 60th anniversary. Unfortunately, he is working on another show, so we're not going to see him. But you know, they are making him a worthy adversary of a villain, and I think if they, I think they're going to win against Victor for this storyline. I don't think that he will die in this storyline. I think that he will lose and probably end up in jail, and at some point he'll probably escape to create, you know, wreak more havoc in the future, which I think is a good thing to do. I don't like when villains overstay their welcome, because it makes things predictable. Because if we get the vibe that they're not going anywhere anytime soon, then it ruins any storyline of anyone going up against him. And that was the problem with the writing for many years, is that the villains were always winning. And part of what I loved about the 80s is that the villains would eventually lose, and it didn't take years to lose either. And even if it took over a year, it was still a riveting story from start to finish. Hopefully they will honor her some way in the nurse's ball. That would be... Oh, you know that they will. You know that they will. 100%. Jeff and Bobby were never married. Okay, that's fair. Isaiah, you liked Ron Carlivati? I'm sorry. The face mask thing, writing Elizabeth out of character, writing Nicholas out of character, writing characters stupid so that they could push storylines that didn't make any sense. The Luke and the Fluke thing. Luke and, what's his name? Luke's twin, Bill Eckert. His, like, petty way of, like, getting one up on us by, like, changing the storyline last second when we all predicted it too early for him. That guy was a monster, and I'm so glad he's off our show. DG, you said you still prefer Sydney Michaela as Trina. She had stronger presence. Tabiana is a decent actress, but under her Trina is more of a damsel in distress. She needs a story to toughen her up. I could agree with that, DG. Like, Sydney did have, you know, sort of a regal thing about her that did come across as strong, and I feel like Tabiana doesn't show as much strength as Sydney did. But at the same time, I also think, you know, Sydney's not on the show anymore. I don't think we could be in better hands with Tabiana, because she was the next choice in the original auditions. So I don't know, but I think with time that they could bring that sort of fearlessness back with Trina. And I think that they're trying to. But, I don't know. It's taken a bit of time to get there. Isaiah, you said, I don't even think it's possible for me to care less about Willow. They should have put Austin with Britt. They really should have. They had good chemistry. But Britt had chemistry with everyone. That's just the reality. Will Cody be out as well? I don't think Cody would be out as fast, because we do know that at some point Mac's going to have to find out that that's his kid. So it'll be a while before Cody's gone, I think. My patience runs very thin with the Baby Switch storyline. I'll just wish that child the very best at this point. I wish Valentini would get rid of his pets. I agree. So I'm gonna kind of scroll a little bit faster, because I'm having a hard time catching up with y'all. I'm worn out on Roger. Me too. I've truthfully never gotten the hype with him. I don't think he's a bad actor. I just don't think he's the best. He's just a good actor that plays the parts that he has decently well, except when he tried to play Drew and suddenly gained a Southern accent that would come and go. He's good at playing a type of character. One type. And that's where I think, you know, where my opinion lies on Roger. Could see Roger as a doctor on Chicago Med, or The Resident. Maybe The Resident. Bob Guza seems to do better on Days. Bob Guza isn't on Days. Ron Carlivati is, right? I think he would be great on Chicago Med. No. DG, you said yes, after 2000, Guza was terrible when he was working with Jill Phelps. Guza was golden. Yeah, Guza in the 90s was great. Guza and Jill was just a disaster. He even brought back my fave, Leslie Weber and the Cast Irons. Yeah, like, I think that Guza, under the right director and producer, can truly do great things, because he wrote, even in the worst of years of Guza with Jill, he still managed to pen really good romances and really good storylines. However, under Jill, he wasn't able to I don't know, to kind of escape the mob, sort of the obsession with Jason and Sonny, and it really hindered the show for a long time. Twitter is what you make of it, but soap Twitter is a mess. I don't follow most soap Twitter. I only follow a few actors. I mostly follow content creators from YouTube and more serious stuff. I just, I never got into Twitter in the first place, and maybe it's because I never seen the point of it back when Twitter first became a thing either. I was like, okay, so you can like tweet about your day in like however many limited words. And that just seemed silly to me. And I was like, that's stupid. That's dumb. I don't want it. Like, truthfully, that was my reaction to Twitter. And that had nothing to do with soaps. But soap Twitter seems like a whole different entity that I don't want to be in. And obviously, if I were to get on Twitter, it would have to tie into YouTube, my YouTube in some way. Although, apparently, you can't even promote your other socials on there anymore. So, that's another thing in itself. But again, I wouldn't go on Twitter anyway, so it doesn't even matter to me. I think Spencer suing for custody of Esme's baby is a bit ridiculous. Last year he was afraid he knocked her up. He's not mature enough to be a dad. Yeah, like, it's clear, and I think Diane has a number in the sense that he wants revenge against his father, and I think as much as he denies it, that is probably his number one reason. He's going to try like hell to sell the point that he doesn't want that baby raised in an environment with his father and Esme, but we all know it's just a revenge thing for Spencer, and he's gonna have to battle with that. Honestly, I wonder how 2000's GH would have been if Elizabeth Corte, Michelle Van Jean, or even Megan McTavish remained. I don't know. Guess we can only wonder. DG said, I bet your grandma saw the scenes in the 80s where Robert and Sean were fighting on the tram. Those were iconic, man. Oh, I loved watching those. I think we reacted to those scenes maybe on here at some point. But man, yeah, that was a crazy storyline. There are plenty of teen dads in real life. Alright, good night, Jacarius. You probably left like a long time ago. I'm still catching up on the comments here. I just don't want Charles written off the show. He's very good. I'd be okay with most of the villains staying any day over Sonny. He has been here for 30 years now. Too long. Charlotte still being held captive by Victor. Nope. Laura and Valentine rescued Charlotte like months ago. She's in Port Charles with Kevin, I'm assuming. I didn't hear on Carlivati. That's very campy writer. I think people like Ron because he never took any stories seriously. Everything was tongue-in-cheek and crazy. I hated all that, but some people like it. That's how the soap genre devolved over the years. I think you're right to some extent, DG, on that. Like, the thing is, like, it worked well for the 50th anniversary, and then once that died off, you realized how awful it was. Is Elizabeth still seeing things, or did they quit that storyline? Nope, she's not seeing anything anymore. She solved that. We've seen Jeff Weber and Caroline Weber. Elizabeth got to reunite with her parents. Why she was seeing things was the dumbest thing ever. Long story short, Elizabeth pushed... oh my gosh, I keep wanting to say... Elizabeth pushed Finn's wife down a set of stairs when she was a child. Because Finn's wife and Jeff Weber were having an affair, and it wound up, or, you know, she wound up in the hospital, and then she got bad blood that gave her the disease that inevitably killed Finn's wife eventually. They tied Finn's wife into Elizabeth's storyline, which is so dumb. Not worth it. So dumb. Austin, Cody, Curtis, Drew, Finn, Nicholas, Nina, Portia, Trina, and Willow need to be written off. I don't think Trina or Curtis need to be written off. Or Portia. Willow, I'm on the fence with, but I'm biased because I don't like her, but GH needs representation. I do think that they need better writing, though. Finn, yeah, he can go too. Drew, yeah, I'm neither here nor there with him. Is Guza still writing soaps? I don't think so. Swear his career in soaps took off when he was a gang rapist. Despite the evil of the character, he was loved. So he's basically Luke 2.0? Like, I don't know. Even when I compare Tony to Roger, I'm like, no. Cody, Drew, and Austin could all go. Nina can go. Guza created Carly, Nicholas, Stefan, and many others when he worked under Wendy Rich. Yeah, Guza created a lot of amazing characters. And yeah, like people have been saying, it's truly, you know, that his tenor with Jill is where things really went down the drain. Oh, Guza and Chris Pratt's idea to center the show around Sunny. Oh my god, how far behind am I, guys? Okay, not much further. Okay. So you've seen the tram scenes. I have seen the tram scenes. I think I watched the tram scenes on here back when GHMV Reacts wasn't a live show. Because I think like the last 3 non-live GHMV Reacts that I did was just before GH came back on the air during the pandemic. So I went all in and watched all the action-packed scenes that I could find and made them like hour-long episodes when really they used to be like 20 minutes. The last couple were like an hour and a bit long to watch as many as we could. Because I really thought I was like not going to do it anymore. And then I took a few months break from it and then came back and turned it into a live stream. What's today's episode of General Hospital? It was just the fallout of Willow finding out the truth about Nina and Carly's confrontations with Michael and Willow, and Sunny is next. We've seen Anna and Valentine in Paris doing their thing, and Heather and Esme interacting, and Ava and Nicholas, or not Ava and Nicholas, Ava and Spencer putting their heads together, and that's all I'll say on that. Y'all can watch for yourselves. In the 60s and 70s, soap storylines were much more serious and a bit over the top. In the 80s, adventure stories took off and the budgets and ratings were huge. In the 90s, they came back down to earth. By the 2000s, the core audience is left and quality crashed across the board. Yeah, that's a perfect summary of it, honestly. Does Spencer need to be written off? No, I think they have potential with Spencer. Because, first of all, Nicholas Chavez is, for his age, a phenomenal actor. And I do not want him gone. I want him to sort of take the mantle of the Cassadines and kind of be the good Cassadine that, for whatever reason, the writers decided Nicholas shall no longer be. And I think this is wishful thinking on my part. Obviously, Marcus is not going to be Nicholas anymore. I would love to see Tyler back in the role, and I want to see Tyler and Nicholas interact with each other. That is my hope. I don't know if it's going to happen, but it's my hope. Oh my god, I hate Willow too because the actress is just weak in my opinion. She's very beautiful and makes a great model, but as an actor, she bores me. I'm neither here nor there for Willow. I mean, the character herself, I cannot stand her with Michael though. So honestly, I liked her with Chase. I think that her and Chase were an adorable couple, and I liked the writing with Willow and Chase, and then they had to ruin it with Michael, and I've just not liked her ever since. Goose is actually one of the best writers in history. The best were Pat Falcon Smith, Doug Marland, and Bridget and Jerome Dobson, who wrote the show in the 70s. The best producers, Gloria Monty and Wendy Rich. I think that Guza, like I said, as bad as a lot of the Guza years were, he still had moments where he shined. He knew how to write a sweeps storyline. He knew. And he would make sure to take advantage of the fact that they want to utilize the whole cast. And he'd have the veterans in there when he could. But I just think, sadly, the show fell with Jill as the producer. And their teaming up kind of inevitably ruined the show. Spencer is a very layered, fascinating character, and Nick Chavez is cut from the same cloth as Jonathan Jackson and Tyler Christopher. I agree. He is phenomenal for his age. Yeah, truly. Yeah, I don't want Spencer written off. Her and Michael don't really fit. I feel like people wanted them together because, they were bonding in a friendship over the loss of their children, which wasn't even a loss. And is that because you don't like Michael? No, it's because Willow, when Willow was with Chase, they still had their own lives, right? Willow was a teacher, and she had her passion for her students, and Chase was a cop, and he had his passion. With Michael, she's just kind of the wayward wife that sits at home and doesn't really have yeah, she wants to become a nurse. How often did we see her in that hospital? Almost never. She's just Michael's yes sir. She's his arm candy, and she's lost all her personality with Michael. And I think sadly, Michael just has that effect on the partners that he has. Because for whatever reason, whenever they put characters with Michael, they just make them Michael's prop. And Michael isn't even that fascinating of a character to deserve a prop. You know what I mean? That's how I feel. I think about how much more Sasha thrived once she got away from Michael. And Willow was thriving before she was with Michael, and it's just the luck of the draw. Michael just isn't a likable character either. Supposedly, Nicholas' last air date is Friday on the 20th because he walked out. I don't know if that's 100% true. Maybe the 20th being this last date is true, but there was news that came to light that it was a health thing why he couldn't shoot the last couple of episodes. Sorry, Kyle, I don't understand the last sentence. Michael's just he's boring. There's nothing to him. There's nothing to him. Right now, he's just a big baby. He's mad at both of his parents, and he's throwing a tantrum and holding a grudge. And he's just an immature man-child. Goose's best stories were Carly versus Bobby. I liked that story. Michael's parentage. Yeah, the twist of fate. Yeah, the primetime special that brought Leslie back to life. I did watch that as well. I don't think I've reacted to it. Or maybe we did. I don't know. I don't know. But I've watched it. The shooter at Luke's Jazz Club, yeah. The blending of Luke and Laura and Sonny. Yeah, true. I remember when Trina was thriving long before they paired her up with Spencer. Now, like you said, she's just a damsel in distress. But, like, how was Trina thriving before she met Spencer? Like, Sydney Michaela's Trina, like, how was she thriving before? Like, they had her, like, around, and I think as an actress, she was doing a phenomenal job with the work she was given. I really would have liked to see her with Cam, truly. But even with Spencer, she wasn't a damsel in distress until Tabiana, I feel. Because even when Sydney was kind of going through the stuff with Esme, like, yeah, she was a victim, but she was staying strong throughout it. The remote in Puerto Rico where Luke killed Frank Smith and Brenda was... Yeah, oh my god, DG, that honestly... That storyline is one of my favorites of all time on GH. Just phenomenal location shoot, first of all. And because it was the 90s, it was like... When you think about like the location shoots in the 80s, it was a lot of shaky cam and this and that. The 90s Puerto Rico storyline was so well shot. And so... You know, it was just well done. They utilized Ricky Martin's concert because they had Miguel, right? And so it was just like this huge event. And, you know, seeing like Brenda and Ned and Lois like jamming out to, you know, Susanna by Ricky Martin 1 minute. And then all of a sudden in the next, you got Sonny and Brenda like, or no, I mean, you know, them kind of dealing with the mob aspect. And first of all, before the concert with Miguel, what Sonny and Brenda had went through, basically Brenda being kidnapped, Sonny rescuing her, that whole scene, that chase scene in the hotel, oh man, some of the best scenes on GH. Those scenes of the escape of the hotel, I did react to. But that storyline as a whole is phenomenal. They had good chemistry. Guza wrote Tony kidnapping baby Michael, yep. Trina was sort of in Joss's shadow when I first started watching. Yeah, she really was. I started right before Esme. And you know what was interesting about that? I think the thing was, I don't think that they expected people to be so, you know, so into Trina, because we weren't... I think the writers wanted us to vote to like root for Jocelyn and Cameron, but there they were like rooting for Trina and Cameron. And then it felt like because of that they were like, well, you know what, we're just gonna have her friend zone Cameron completely. And then eventually they brought Spencer back for her, and Spencer and Trina, they had their potential for sure. But you know, I think where they went wrong inevitably was bringing Esme into the picture. That she was like, and listen, I know DG, I know you adore Esme, but I think that Esme essentially was brought on to be a crutch to give Trina and Spencer angst, you know? And I think that Avery does an amazing job at playing Esme. I really do. And I find her entertaining. I just, we could have had an Esme character without her being the wedge between Spencer and Trina, you know what I mean? Trina could have just been Trina could have been Trina could have been Nina's second twin. Or not Trina. Esme could have been Nina's second twin. Instead of Willow. Because she also looks just like Nell. And Chloe and Lanier and Avery, in terms of their acting skills, are cut from the same cloth. Luke got shot and fell off the speedboat. Yeah, the stunts they did were insane in that story. And yeah, Lucy was there too. I really missed the budget of those days. And honestly, the fact that they got Maurice on a plane to do that, you know, given his fear of flying, good on him. Good on him. Trina wasn't Joss's shadow like Claudia was to Laura back in the 70s and 80s. Man, yeah, I mean, I obviously only caught glimpses of Claudia within Luke and Laura's storyline playlists on YouTube. But, you know, it is what it is. Willow is too soft for Nina. If I were writing, I would bring Esme and Spencer back together because they have a past and a bringing up in common. And the actors have tremendous chemistry. They would be a dysfunctional couple. I don't know, like, I kind of like Spencer being, like, troubled, but, like, with a hero complex. I don't think I would want Spencer to stoop to Esme's level. Like, I like Spencer's... And I think a lot of that for me has to do with the fact that they just, for whatever reason, decided to go all in on Nicholas being a piece of shit. And I want Spencer to sort of, you know, if they're going to go all in with that with Nicholas, then I want Spencer to be the good Cassadine that kind of overcomes the sort of darkness that the Cassadines experience. Angel, you said Esme is literally Nell with brown hair. True. True. Hey, Shakira. Sorry if I didn't see... If some of y'all have been in the chat the whole time, my apologies if I didn't see you. It took me so long to catch up to the bottom of the chat, and I was just kind of scrolling through as fast as I could. I can't believe there's like 20 of y'all watching right now. Hello, everybody. And we're just chit-chatting about GH. But yeah, like... You know, I think... How did we even go down this rabbit hole, y'all? Like... Spencer needs to be an anti-hero. The character needs to keep his edge. I think that Spencer can keep his edge without being with Esme, though. That's the thing. Walk the fine line between good and evil. Like, yeah, like, I think that that's what I mean, though. Like, I think... Like, I do want Spencer to be the good Cassadine, but even when Nicholas was a good Cassadine, he had edge. You know what I mean? Oh, what am I missing here? Spencer and Esme remind me of Ryan, Phillip, and Sarah Michelle Gellar in Cruel Intentions. Nice. I should be in bed. I work home, but I should log on by 8 p.m. Fair enough. I mean, I really do need to wrap up this live chat. As fun as it's been. Do y'all feel sorry for Nina? Nope. Nope. It's been an interesting live stream because a lot of people watch. I guess a lot of my viewers watch GH on Hulu, and Hulu was not working for a lot of people, so I've been trying not to talk about today's episode so much. But yeah. No, I don't feel sorry for Nina. And I don't feel sorry for Carly either, though. People at Trina, because I think you meant she's African American. Well, they can die in their ignorance, you know? I'm here for Dark Cam. I am here for Dark Cam, too. I need Dark Cam. I think... Yeah, obviously, some of you didn't watch today's episode, but in the preview, we do see Cam, and he seems to be on a rampage a little bit. So I think we gonna get a bit of Dark Cam. I'm excited. I'm excited for that. He can keep his edge without Esme, but she keeps him on his toes. But yeah, but anyone could. Esme's not his only, like, the only adversary that he can have. Me either, Carly, yeah. Same here for me, Dion. I mean, I get Nina's anger, but she forgets what she did by keeping Sonny Nixon Falls. Come on, man. I don't feel sorry about Willow, Carly, etc. These characters are written too poorly to care. I think that's the reality of this whole storyline, is that there's no one to root for. There's nobody to root for in this. I don't care if Willow never forgives Nina. I don't care if Willow beats cancer. I don't care if Nina gains a daughter or loses a daughter. I don't care if Carly gets disowned by her family or gets welcomed back in with open arms. I don't care. There's so little to care about in this whole mess. They're all shitty characters, or like, not always shitty characters, but currently they're all shitty. They've had their moments of not being, but like, you know, they're all a mess. I don't care who wins or loses in their sort of ongoing battles within each other. I don't care who wins in Nina versus Carly. I don't care if Sonny is mad at Carly or you know, or dumps Nina or stays with Nina. I don't care. Dark Cam versus Dex. Listen, sadly I don't think Cam stands a chance to fight with Dex. I think that Dex would body him. You know what I mean? But what I want is Cam to lash the F out on everyone. I want him to, you know, be in bars getting drunk and starting fights with whoever. And I want to see him, you know, dating someone he shouldn't, or doing things to try and, you know, make Jocelyn hate him even more. I agree, I don't care about anyone in the Willow's parentage story. I fast forward it all. I think Laura Wright acting is good, that's it. Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. I think that, you know, the actors do a fine job with the material that they're given, but because there's no one to root for in the storyline, it's just, it sucks. And I think a big part of it is that they slept too long on making Willow Nina's daughter. We knew it was a thing like 4 years ago, and it's taken this long to get there, and now Willow is unlikable. Nina is way more unlikable than she was back then, and it's just, there's no, because, you know, I feel like even Nina at to some extent was a rootable character at one point. You know, we wanted Nina to find her daughter, and, you know, because she got the poor end of the stick from Madeline, and Madeline, you know, separated her from her daughter while she was in a coma. You know, we wanted Nina to reunite with her daughter. And Willow, like, we wanted, you know, Willow was a decent character, and seeing them kind of go at odds with each other while Charlotte was in school, I think was like even though it was kind of like something that we could see coming, it was a great way to sort of start that sort of rivalry with each other. But then you throw in everything with Michael and Wiley and Nell and all of that mess in the mix, and it's just like, why are we still here? Why are we just finding this out? And now everyone's become so unlikable that no one even cares anymore. No one cares. Nina finding out Willow was her daughter and vice versa should have been a big thing, and they slept on it for too long, and now everyone's just over it. Everyone is over it. Glad I haven't been watching. Yeah, like, when did Willow become hold on, let me find out exactly. Willow GH. Okay, so Willow's been around since 2018. And back then, she was a teacher with Charlotte in her class, okay? 19, 20, 21, 22. We're 5 years on. We're nearly 5 years on from then. GH introduces such boring characters. Dex, Cody have all been generic and meh. And they try to push them. I mean, Dex is still new, so I'm kind of like, Dex and Cody are still so new that they have potential to write them better. Will they? Who knows? So I'm willing to like wait it out and see, for myself anyway. I get it, totally get it, But a lot of the characters have started out generic and then grew to be much better than they were. So, you know, I'm trying to hold out hope that they become more complex and have, you know, shades of gray in there and all that. You know, Willow's last name is Tate. Oh my gosh. Yeah, it was kind of a weird name to give her. But, like, I guess Willow was also trying to hide out from Shiloh at the time, too. So, it is what it is. Portia started dating Dex. No way. Dante and Britt weren't generic when... Britt was so generic when she was introduced. She was the one-dimensional bad guy. She was 1D as hell. Dante, I'll give you that. But Dante was in a whole different era for GH. You know what I mean? Like, I'm talking about Frank Valentini characters. Like, Britt, a lot of the characters were one-dimensional. And Britt was for sure 100% one-dimensional. And it wasn't until more recent years that they gave her enough layers to become likable and for people to genuinely be sad that she was killed off. Her last name really... her last name is Miller. Lorraine Miller was Willow's name. Right? Makes me wonder if she was related to Diane in some way. She wasn't boring. She wasn't boring, but she was generic. She was one-dimensional. Like, there's a difference between generic and boring. I was totally not impressed by Britt when she was introduced. She was one-dimensional and cardboard. And that's the thing, like, a lot of the characters that Ron introduced were, like, cardboard cutouts and cliches. Because Britt was the clear vixen bad girl, and Sabrina was the nerdy Disney princess chick, and Patrick was the Prince Charming. Like, it was so cringe. Like, Britt was brought on to be a character that we were meant to hate, to the point where she was doing things like screaming, you know, yelling and making little girls like Emma cry and throwing baby dolls into fires. Like, generic. There was nothing more to her. And then once they kind of strayed away from that, then they started giving her layers. So who created the name Willow then? I think Willow named herself, right? Because she was just trying to escape Shiloh. I liked Britt as the bridge. Always did. I never liked the good guys. Listen, like, it's just I'm talking about Britt's origins. I think Britt even became more likable even when she was just like, you know, kind of, yes, the town pariah, but like her friendship with Brad was fun to watch. So, you know, like that was when I started to like Britt. When they got her away from Patrick and they gave Britt, you know, her mother, and then they gave her Nathan as a brother. Like, there was growth. I think after Ron Carlivati left, there was a lot more growth for the character. Compared to Cody, Dex, even Willow, at least Britt had a role and wasn't exactly like the other characters. Cody and Dex and even Brando are almost interchangeable. Yeah, I'll give you that Brando is pretty interchangeable and with Dex and Cody. I just hope that they start to give them layers. Cody and Dex, to me, like, they haven't been on even a year yet. So I'm holding out hope, you know? I think the big problem with Brando too is that he wasn't really utilized with much of the cast. So, like, there's not much room for him to become an interesting character. He was essentially kind of thrown with Sasha, and then they were kind of in their own little world for, like, the longest time. Like, yeah, they had ties to Sunny and, you know, the Corinthos clan in some ways, but that was it. You know, characters that kind of get around the whole canvas are, you know, by default much more interesting because there's so many characters and they can have different kinds of relationships with each character. GG said, I thought Kelly Thibault had good chemistry with Tyler Christopher. She did, but I wasn't interested in the show overall then, so I didn't see much of them together. Yeah, I mean, what I liked the most about her relationship with Nicholas was the extended relationship she had with little Spencer when he was a kid. Like, I think that made Britt more endearing too, because I feel like, you know, she's seen herself in Spencer, and so their like little friendship was really nice to see. They even did the same thing with Hayden and Spencer, but I think with Britt, it was really something special seeing her interact with that kid, and I'm glad that we got to see, you know, grown-up Spencer interact with her too. I wish that we had seen more of them, because, you know, now he's growing into an adult and she's seeing what adult Spencer is capable of, and she could have really, you know, given him some life advice, and they just didn't really interact that much, which is unfortunate. I think Dex is going to get layers. Yeah, I think that the writers care about Dex, so I think that they're going to try to do a lot more with him, because I think they're really trying to sell Dex and Jocelyn. I don't think it's going to have the effect that the writers are going to wish that they had. But like, I think that he has a lot of potential. Also, Evan Hoffer is like drop dead gorgeous, and for what little he does on the show, I think he's shown us that he's capable of like handling drama and also handling like more lighthearted stuff. So I'd like to see him get a lot of different kind of storylines and kind of give him some real meat to work with storyline wise, you know, like to really test him as an actor. Dex and Joss are rushed, but I hope that they stay contained in their Michael Q corner. I really don't want them to stay contained in that corner. I want them to be around the cast so that they can grow as characters. Because, you know, Jocelyn, she can't grow as a character herself if she's always just within that little bubble. And I don't think that's fair to hinder an actor, because, you know, the more people they have them involved with, and they don't necessarily even have to be involved in major ways with other characters, but they just need to get out of the bubble, because I think that's where GH kind of falls apart, because eventually it stops feeling like an ensemble cast, and then it becomes like all these little boxes, and people like will enjoy their little boxes, but it ruins the show as a whole. And soaps are meant to come across as an ensemble cast and sort of have that community vibe. And I think that's even like back in the Ron and Frank days, that's where they fell apart too, because they had this group of characters in like Nina and Franco and Madeline and Ava, and, you know, these characters all in just this bubble among each other, and they had no ties to any of the canvas for like the longest time, and it really hindered the characters, and it really hindered the show, because like, why do I care of these 5 characters that have no ties to anyone else in town? You know what I mean? That's how I seen it back then, and I don't want that to be the case with characters now. I'd like to hope that there is power in, you know, making a soap thrive by really building that sense of community among all of the characters, instead of just like having these characters here and these characters there and never like crossing paths. I love. Do you mean Brit instead of bread? Because I truly, you know, I went from hating her to like adoring Brit, truly. So you'd rather... Wait, hold on. So you're saying the writers don't treat characters fairly enough for me to want them to spread out. They justify one over the other when they should all be nuanced and complex. So I'd rather they not try than do poorly. So you'd rather them... Like, you'd rather the show get canceled than to even attempt to, like, have them try to make it a better show? Is what you're saying? Like, why? Like, I would rather them try. I would rather them try. I don't want to see GH canceled. And that's what I think would be any show's downfall. When they can't have the characters interact anymore, then that's not an ensemble show. That's a show dead in the water. I need that, like, I want them to try and thrive. And then if it doesn't work, get better writers that are capable of doing so. You know, it's growing and changing and rolling with the punches. Well, that's unfortunate for you, Elusive Poet. That's like a show that you could just fast forward. I don't want to be in a situation where I want to fast forward GH. I've never fast forwarded the show, never once. Lisa Niles is worse than Britt, who wanted Patrick back then. Okay, but Lisa Niles was fun. She was awful, but she was fun to watch because Brianna Brown, I think that was her name, Brianna Brown? Yeah, who played her, was so good at playing two different extremes, because Lisa Niles could seem chill and like kick-ass cool and all this. And then, you know, when all of it was coming out, when she was like really showing her crazy, you could see her just being like this psychopath. Like, I think that Brianna Brown was phenomenal as Lisa Niles. And you know, like, it's, she, you know, I don't know if it was the original game plan to make her that crazy, but I have a feeling that for whatever reason they knew Brianna's strengths and catered, and they were like, we want to utilize that. I don't know if Lisa was meant to be as crazy as she got, but Brianna was so good at playing crazy, and at the same time she was so good at playing chill that it was believable that people were having a hard time believing that Lisa was psycho. Like, obviously as the audience we could see it, but in my head I'm also like, it makes sense that these characters aren't seeing how crazy she is. Robin and Patrick can obviously see it, especially Robin, because of the way that Lisa treated Robin. But it didn't annoy me that people couldn't see the crazy in Lisa. And that's a credit to Brianna, who played her. DG said, I agree with what you said about the show blending characters and stories. Soaps are the best when there is a story synergy. I miss the days when I could watch the show all the way through and love it all. And that's the thing, like, I don't love it all, but I sit and watch the you know, the show as a whole, because I don't want to miss the opportunities when GH does get the cast together and has different interactions, just because, like, I don't want to be there like, oh, I don't like Michael, so I'm not gonna watch any interaction he has with whoever. I don't care because of this. You know, there are characters that I cannot stand, but I'm not gonna not watch because I don't want to feel like I've missed something. You know. I haven't liked the show that much in 20 years. Yeah, I mean, me neither, DG. Honestly, I mean, I feel like I like it far more now than I did 10 years ago. And certainly 15 years ago, depends on the day. I do miss the sweep storylines. And I think collectively, any one of us who were around back then, like, I think the best storylines that we all enjoyed were like the big sweep stunt storylines, because everyone was involved. We seen the whole town trying to work together to solve whatever problem it was, whether it was escaping a hostage situation in a hotel or handling a virus pandemic in the hospital, or, you know, dealing with, you know, the hospital being taken over with toxins and like lighting on fire, you know, different things like that. And we'd see how all these characters would come together in different ways, and we'd see characters who don't normally interact with each other. And those were the moments where GH was at its best. I love big umbrella stories that involve the whole cast. Those are the best. Yeah, truly. Like, that's when GH is at its best, and no matter what era it was, you know, like, even in the thick of the Luke and Laura phenomenon, where those characters are clearly kind of taking the reins and making the show as big as it was, they still had all of the characters kind of involved in some kind of way. When the Ice Princess thing was going on, we were seeing the hospital in the thick of it, dealing with the cold weather in Port Charles, you know, like, and coming together as a community in Port Charles. Like, it, you know, of course there's always going to be leads, but they're like, it's something special when you can really see these characters come together in a crisis and, you know, interact with each other in different ways. And the crises can bring certain characters together that you wouldn't normally expect. For example, during the virus outbreak, we had Nicholas and Maxie kind of being there for each other. It's moments like that where you're like, oh, what an interesting, like, pairing. And, like, not that they paired them romantically or anything. It was just Nicholas happened to be there at the right time. Things like that. I wonder what it will take to get new writers. Hard to say. They'd have to be colossally bad. And the thing is, these writers, in comparison to some over the last 10 years, are not colossally bad. In terms of how they're doing, I get the sense that they are trying. They're trying to make things work. And experimenting with certain things to try and make the show better. Whereas I think a lot of the past writing teams over the last 10 years, I think that they would stay in their lane and not really try to, how can I describe? I feel like a lot of the writers would kind of have their way about things and wouldn't try to do anything different than what they do. I think they form their habits and stuff and they stick with it. I truly feel like this last Regime is open to trying new things that maybe other writing teams were a little bit more afraid to go for. And I appreciate that about this current writing team. Not that they're, you know, the greatest, but they're trying, and I do appreciate that. Because I can get the sense that they are trying. Despite its implausibility, it was fun. Yeah, it was a ridiculous story for sure, but, you know, it still involved the entire cast. I think the current writing team is good at moments and surprise angles, but they're not that good at long-term stories. Yeah, that's where they struggle a little bit. You're right. Alright, good night, y'all. Yeah, it is getting late. I need to take my ass to bed. It's almost midnight here, too. But thanks for the hangouts, guys. So, like, truly, like, this is a fun stream. And obviously, I wouldn't be here still now, 2 hours later, if I wasn't having fun. This was a really great stream, guys. So thanks so much for tuning in. We will be back live streaming on Sunday to recap the whole week as a whole. And yeah, thanks so much for watching. If you guys are new here, I'd appreciate a subscription. So subscribe if you liked it. Give the video a big old thumbs up. And I will catch you guys hopefully this Sunday. Take care, everyone. Have a good night.